All right, I guess I'm ready. Everyone, happy New Year. 2026. How's it been treating you? Don't even ask how it's been treating me. Let's do the intro. Welcome to the Born Ready podcast. If it's your first time, welcome, and if it's your returning, welcome back. I'm Anthony Reddy, and I'm your host. And I had a terrible break. I took a month off, wanted to recalibrate, go into the new year, just feeling refreshed, and kind of just do nothing really, right? Um, and then January turned into a shit show. I'm sure January has not been the best for everyone. I think it's famously the worst month of the year, unless it's your birthday, of course, or unless you're the Patriots. Let's not even talk about it. But yeah, January is usually famously known for the worst month of the year after the holidays. But there's been this mega flu that's been going on, and everyone's been talking about it. And if you're not talking about it, you must have had it. And it was like I've never felt so down and out before, where I'm like, I literally can't do anything but lay here in bed. And fortunately, I was the only one who got sick. Thankfully, my dad did not. But it was brutal. It was something that I would never wish on my enemy, my worst enemy. I would I would just lay in bed for I think I was literally sick for about 15, 16 straight days. Like body chills. I didn't have a cough, thank God, but my sinuses, I felt fatigued. I couldn't really eat or keep anything down. I couldn't even watch like a movie. I couldn't watch a show. Like everything just felt so hard, and I struggled really hard uh, trying to battle through it. The only thing that really worked really well was hot tea, herbal tea, hot showers, and sweating it out. But I swear, like, I don't know about you guys, but if you ever had the flu, usually one night of like, those cold sweats that you get, I feel like one of those resets your body. But for me, it took about 3 or 4 of those in 15 days. Now, I had a couple friends visit me right after the holidays, going to New Year. Um, and I think that's where I got sick. And I remember and that's funny because I was sick before New Year's, and then I got a little bit better, and it started with the throat thingy. It's like swallowing knives. And then I got a little better, and then I got hit with the mega flu, and then I was out and down for the count for like 15 days. So when I say Happy New Year, I mean it because it's the first episode back into 2026. But it's already January 29th, I think. I don't even know what day it is. So we're almost at the end of January, but better late than never. So anyways, during my break, I didn't get to do much, but rest, relax. I do have some news that I'm going to share with you a little bit later. But other than that, I just wanted to take care of my health was like number one. And if you're also going through the same thing, let me give you some tips and tricks. Turmeric, ginger, lemon juice, cayenne pepper, a little bit of water, and then just drink that every day. You know, those ginger and turmeric shots that you'd usually make or get. That saved me, especially for my throat. I think that really helped and boost my immune system. Um, I didn't really eat at all. Like eggs sometimes, soup, a lot of chicken soup, no noodles, just broth and chicken. If I could hold it down, a lot of water, a lot of hot stuff. But yeah, I swear by this. Turmeric and ginger is the cure. So if you are feeling that, take please. That's number one thing you want to do. Second thing you want is take an allergy pill. Don't take all the Tylenol PM or the NyQuil, Dayquil. Some people swear by Alka-Seltzer. I've tried it before. It does work really well, but it suppresses. Mucinex is pretty damn good. Sudafed, depending on what you get, pretty good. But I lived off of paracetamol, which is the Irish Tylenol or Advil. I don't know which one it is, but it's basically the same thing. That, allergy pills, turmeric, ginger, hot water, hot tea, regular water, and then showers, and then just relax. So if you're going through it and you need something, please try that. Because I really do want everyone to feel healthy when you're listening to this. Because if you're listening to this and you're sick, it's the worst thing. I would hate that for you. what else has been going on? So I have the computer here just for some notes, and the reason why is because I've been taking notes since my break, and there was a lot to cover, and I was like, it's way too much. I'm kind of just gonna wing this one and get back to it. But there's some topics I'm gonna cover that I think um, that are fun for me and fun for you to know. And then I have some big news to share with you guys at the end. How about that? And this one won't be an hour and 30 minutes. Okay, there's no reason to. When it's a party of me and doing a solo pod, I think anything over an hour is just like it's too much. There's a lot to talk about. But I saved it for the start of it. So where am I at right now? So I'm feeling healthy. I got a haircut. I put on a nice cozy sweater because it's freezing here. The weather in Ireland has not been so. Um, what is the word I want to use? Yeah, it hasn't been so lovely, to say the least. It's very gloomy. It rains almost every day. It's really cold, not freezing cold, but pretty cold. And it's been ruining my routine. Now, on top of being sick, I haven't been going to the gym, but I have been stretching and walking as much as I can. But since it's been raining, it's kind of hard to get yourself to go outside and walk in the rain. Even though I enjoy it, it's just hard because walking in the rain here is very different. It rains heavier, and then the wind on top of that is probably the worst thing about Ireland's weather, and especially the south of Ireland. We have a little more, rolling hills, and even though it's 50 Shades of Green, that looks like a movie set. The wind is powerful. It punches you right in the face, and so during this time, it's at its peak, and it's been really hard to exercise during this time. But how I'm feeling is today is my best day I've had in maybe 6 weeks, and maybe 2 months. I don't know. I've been finally getting some better sleep, which is nice. And on top of that, I've been kind of getting things ready for this year, which we're going to talk about. So, a good place to start for this episode is kind of do a reflection, a look back on 2025. And I had a lot of things I really wanted to share. I really wanted to do this episode right before going into the new year, but with a lot of things happening and moving and people visiting, um, that's where I was like, you know what? I don't want this to be something that I feel like I need to do and make a mark just yet. I kind of want this to be when I feel like it and when it's appropriate. And I think taking what I think it's been almost 6 weeks since I put out an episode, like 5 weeks. Um, it's been enough time, to do one and start up again. But as a look back for 2025, I've kind of chalked up 2025 as a losing season. It's been a losing season for me, but not in the way that you might think. I look at the losing season being a lot of things that I've let go and a lot of things that happened that needed to change or needed to pivot. And there's a lot of things where I probably stayed longer than I should have when I knew that, it wasn't going the way it was supposed to. And I can feel it and see it. And thinking that, well, maybe effort, maybe hope will change all this. And maybe all these maybes, maybe something will change and maybe something will come. And me looking back now, I realized that I was just kind of not ready to take that leap and that jump and change that for me. But with circumstances, I felt like if I didn't do it or if I didn't make the move, I'd probably be in a worse place mentally, physically, spiritually. Um, so 2025 was a losing season for me, but it was a place where I felt like I learned so much. And I've been here in Ireland with my dad nearly 200 days. So let's just say 6 months, right? Since July. And I really feel like if I didn't take that time to get that realign, that reset, that refresh, that recharge, that all the R's, we talked about this. If I really didn't get that time to do that, I feel like I wouldn't have figured out what's important to me and where do I want to go next. I think when we are clouded and we're stressed, we're trying to use your brain, right? We're trying to outsmart ourselves or try to fix it, but we're not really listening to this part of the body, right? Your gut and your heart. And I really think I was able to take out gosh, I need to solve my problems. I need to fix it right now. And how am I going to do this? To let me just let go for a little bit. Let me surrender completely. Let me lose, okay, to gain. And without that period of me being here, I don't think I would be at this place where I feel at peace. Like there's a part of me that feels so confident and so relaxed and optimistic going into 2026 and beyond with like a new fresh start, And I think part of that was also starting the podcast, which I kind of just threw myself into it and started doing it. And so when I look back at everything, I really do think everything happens for a reason. What do you think? You think that's true? I kind of play around with the idea like, well, if it's not for a reason, then what is it for? And it's really hard to kind of guess what that looks like. But for me, it's like everything I've been through, people, experiences, events, learnings and lessons and mistakes, they're all just part of the growth and evolvement of being human and accepting who you are, and accepting what happened, or accepting that you can't change, or where you can make the change. You know, I always think about back to the serenity prayer, um, which I go back to a lot when I'm struggling to figure out how do I move, without having so much control. How do I let things be? So, so yes, 2025 was a losing season for me. Um, I think right now we're starting 2026 into a rebuild, and we're now approaching, which I like to call the theme of 2026, which is integration. It's taking those losses and lessons and mistakes, and then those new experiences and the new challenges into how do we make it happen now, and where do we go from here? And for me, it's been taking it one lean or one step at a time. It's knowing what feels good. It's knowing what I want to do and look forward to. And I really think 2026 is going to be a breakout year. Now, where I started, where I started this year and where I wanted to go, I thought to myself, you know what I really want to do? And I struggle with this so much. Um, so many attempts I've tried to do this and I failed hard. But where what I did differently this year was I made a vision board. Have you guys ever made a vision board? If you have, I would love to know. I would love to see it. And actually would love to know, does it actually work? Is it something that is it something that actually comes to fruition? Do we manifest it? Like, I'm really curious because this is the actual first time I've actually made it from start to finish, full completion, and felt proud about it. Okay. So one of the days when I started to feel better, instead of me cutting out pieces of like, from magazines and sticking them on there and then writing, certain quotes, like for me, the vision board, I always fail at it because I get caught up in like what I think I want, what looks good, and then like and then things that I just like. Like for instance, I made a vision board 2 years ago with my buddy, and we did it on whiteboards, and I think I did another one on construction paper, and basically we were cutting out things and drawing things, and I had like avocados and coffee on there, and then I had like, certain other like places, and I think I had like a new car. I also had like some kind of currency or wealth. You get it. But the thing is, it doesn't look like it's like an actual vision board. It looks like just a bunch of like a collage of something. And so what made this attempt to be so successful is that I used Chat GPT, and I told them where I went wrong, where I think I went wrong. And to my surprise, it basically said, you're just picking things that like feel good, that like visually, like, aesthetically, but you're not picking things that actually like that feel good to you right now. Like if it's like if you're trying to manifest current like money, you want wealth. It's not something that you try to visualize that you're going to get. Yes, it's part of it. The vision is part of it, but it's like knowing that that wealth already exists in you. You just have to turn the frequency. You just have to tune in to what does that, and then that leads you into how to get there. And what that does is like, okay, so I put a bunch of cash right on this vision board, and I'm actually gonna post it. I'm actually gonna put it up on here on the video, what it looks like. But I had like this vision board, and I put some cash on there, and then I asked like, well, how does that work? How does that translate into me manifesting like this vision to come true? And it's like, well, you have to look at it and feel that like it's already happened. So when they tell you like, the law of attraction, or you gotta fake it till you make it kind of feeling, that's part of it. The vision board is part of like, I already have all those things. They're on their way. And I don't need to wish for them. I just need to know that they are in reach, and I'm headed there. I'm gonna meet it. We're gonna meet each other. And I don't know, something about that clicked for me. And so then I was able to like grab things that actually looked like I can achieve, or I already achieved it. And they're not big things. And it's funny because like I had this picture of a new car, and I've been thinking about gosh, even the thought of me thinking about getting a new car breaks my heart for the car I have. I have a Ford Flex, okay? And it was originally my dad's, but when he moved to Ireland, he gave it to me, and then I gave my car to my niece. Um, Anyways, so I've always loved his car. It just feels comfortable when you ride in it. If you ever rode in a Ford Flex, it's built with a limousine frame, and it's so smooth. I feel like I have a ton of space, and I have all this space in the back that I can just like take with me if I need to. I mean, I've traveled cross country with my car multiple times, going camping trips. I sleep in it sometimes. I have a rooftop compartment, the whole works. I just feel like I have freedom in that car, and it's very like sentimental, obviously for my dad. So the thought of me thinking of like what kind of new car am I going to get next breaks my heart. But also, I know eventually the car, it's gonna take its toll and take its time, and we're pushing damn near 15 years, which is incredible. But it's still running strong, and I'm really happy. So, anyways, back to the idea. I have this picture of a new car that's like driving into the sunset in these mountains, and then I noticed like certain other photos that I put in there all seem to look ahead. Because I then took my vision board, threw it on chat, and I'm like, what do you think? And here's what I'm thinking, here's what I'm feeling, and how do I actually make this work? So part of that was been the soundboard of or the flex the feedback from chat being, hey, these are all. Did you notice that you did this in this picture, or did you notice you placed it right here? And and the way this works is that you have to already feel that it's already in you. You've already achieved all this, and that way you already telling your nervous system, and the way your thinking process goes is that you've already have this. It's on its way, or it's already here. And I feel good about that. And so it also told me that take about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute each day to focus on each tile, each picture, and really believe that it exists in you right now. So if you've ever tried or have attempted or have a vision board, would love to see it. Um, or even just tell me, anything that even happened. Some people have told me that they've met their man of the dream, their dreams. Why can I say this right? The man of their dreams. It just sounds weird. Am I saying it wrong? Anyways, and then some people got the job they wanted, their dream job. Um, the man of my dreams. I think that's what I wanted to say. Some people have said, I bought this house, or I got a girlfriend. Just the whole thing. I've met many people that have like really believed that it works, and I'm just curious if it works for you. I want to know. Tell me the tips, the secrets. I really want to make this work, and I'm really curious if it does. So once I made a vision board, I kind of started to think of the theme of 2026, which is I'm now ready for integration. And what that means is like, yes, I had a chalking up losing season. I have a vision. I know where I want to be and where I want to go, and I know what route or how to execute. Now I got to make things happen. Now things are in motion. So 2026 for me is about getting things in motion and pushing. Like pushing a little bit more of like my limits, and then also exploring things that I'm really excited about. Some of the things I'm excited about is like creative risks. I've been writing a lot more in the last 6 months. I wrote a few short scripts, like really short. I've been developing two different ideas for a movie script or a novel. And then I've also been acting on camera a lot more, which has been a lot of fun, and it's pretty weird. I just went really deep into YouTube, and I'm trying to learn what it feels like to be on set. I'm trying to learn like how the table reads work, or even the process before that. Like, how does someone even pitch a script or even write the script, and how does that get turned into a novel first, or does that the whole process? Like, I'm being such a nerd about it, and then I'm like, well, how does someone even start doing that? Because these are things I actually never done on an actual like movie quality set. Okay, I've done smaller things, and I got to be a part of like extras on things, but I really want to push my creative boundaries a little more and start, yeah, writing, acting, directing. I want to also vlog more. I did my first vlog for this series of the podcast, and the reason I want to do that is because I want to kind of give you more context what happens behind the scenes. I think that's important. I think that shows a little more um relatability. Like, I want you to know like what goes on, not just to talk and preach or learn and share it, but I also want you to be a part of it. So that's something I'm going to be doing very soon, is adding a little more vlog series, and I want to build up my YouTube presence. I think that's something that I've always kind of pushed away and stuck with, like Instagram and TikTok, and mostly for just to document my journey, right? And photos and videos, stories, whatever. But I kind of want to be a little more, I want to get more depth into it. I want to bring more substance and be fulfilled. I think that can be a lot of fun. So those type of creative risks is something that I'm looking to push boundaries and try. And I'm already talking to my buddy Devin and a few other people who are in the industry that I'm looking to take a step in that direction. And I'm kind of curious to see where that goes. I'm also looking to get things stabilized. Another thing about the integration is like, and the big thing that I really wanted, I'm wishing for or manifesting the vision for 2026 is stability. It's something that I've been trying to really build for myself, a really solid foundation. And truth be told, I haven't been in one place for that long. I think the longest I've stayed in one place was when I lived with my buddy Michael in LA for about, gosh, almost a year. I think 11 months. And I took a break in the middle. But in 7 years since my dad left to Ireland, I have not lived in one place for that long. Even with my dad, I think 3 or 4 times I stayed 4, 5, 6 months at a time, and in even small little bits in there. Had a brief period in Texas, had a brief period in the Bay, San Francisco. I mean, I've been a lot of places in the last 7 years, and that kind of leads me to the new the new wish, or the new challenge. To achieve stability. It's something I really need and really want. Okay, well, I guess there's a bit of time to tell you that for the last 6 months, my dad has had the idea of moving back to California, and I'm happy to say that in a week we'll be moving back to kind of California. I'm so relieved and so excited at the same time. This process has been really challenging, if I'm being honest. As you know, if you are in the United States and you're selling your house or property, usually 30 days, with some caveats and special requests or permissions. Is what I'm trying to think about. But in Ireland, it can take up to like 6 to 8 months. So let me just give you the timeline. My dad and I came back in July. Early August, he was like, I think I really want to move back. I think I'm just ready for a new chapter to be closer with family. And that's something that he's talked about a lot. And we had a really good talk about it, because being here in Ireland has been really good for him. However, he's been on his own by himself. And though he has some really good people that take care of him, he has that longing to be with family and myself. And as he's getting older, he's going to be 84 this year, and I can't believe he's a good 84. Um, we just want him to be happy and taken care of. And I think he's leaving at the best time because he's very sharp. He's done a brilliant job packing up and getting things ready. He's that kind of guy who just moves and grooves, and he does it quickly, you know? And so we put the house up in September. The first day we did a viewing, it sold and it was accepted the first week. Now, since then, early September, it was only 2 weeks, a week and a half ago, when we finally signed the last paper and said, okay, it's done. We'll be leaving at such a date. In Ireland, it is so bizarre how they do things. Now, it's just the way they do it. I don't know, but it's so like there's so many miscommunications. And I think that's what is like the problem with this process. In America, we have a realtor who basically does everything with a notarized person, and if there's a mortgage involved, the lender, they just take care of it all. Here, you have to have a solicitor, you have to have a real estate agent, you have to have a management property or a property manager, and they all have to work together, but it's really slow. Then you have the buyer solicitor, and they're a real estate agent, and they're a property manager, and it's like I don't know why it takes this long. I really don't, because they told us, oh, it sold in September. You'll be back home before Thanksgiving. Great. Oh, there's some things that have been tied up, and then things are working a little slower. It's gonna be Christmas. Okay, no problem. Well, shoot, we're already here for Christmas. Might as well leave it to after the New Year. Oh shoot, so and so's on vacation, or hey, someone got sick, and it might look like February or March now. And it's like, so thankfully, my dad and I, were able to work and push, a little bit to get things done. And thankfully, for the people who we are working with our realtor, solicitor, to give them credit, they got things done and made it happen. And no fault to them. The only thing is that why does it take so long? And why is there so many miscommunications? I really do feel like we should have been told it's going to look like this, you know, but that's just the way it is here. So if you're looking for property in Ireland or anywhere else in Europe, it takes a while, just FYI. But back to the good news. My dad and I are leaving next week, and I couldn't be more thrilled. And I'm just so happy he's going to be around my family and myself and friends. And I really think that's going to be really good for him. I really do think that he has some really good years ahead of him, you know. But as a, you know, someone who cares about my dad, and I was trying to think, as a child looking after their parents, especially at an old age, I'm gonna say older age, and then losing a parent, you know, you want to be there for them as much as possible, and you want to be able to make sure that they're being taken care of, but you also kind of got to let them decide. And so when my dad originally come over to Ireland after my mom passed, it was tough for me, really tough to let go of that because all I knew was being there, and I spent a lot of time. I chose to spend a lot of time with them, and then visiting back and forth, and then keeping in touch. Like it's extremely difficult, and I think it was on him. And then I think what really put it over the top for my dad was that the last visit with my family, myself, and then kind of visiting my friends, and being able to go back and forth between LA, the Bay Area, flying over to Hawaii, really gave him life again. Like, well, you know what? I think that's what I want to do with the rest of my life. And I was really happy that he did and made that decision. But to end my point, I had to let my dad choose for himself without pushing anyone or, there's definitely encouragement, but I needed to let him take his course to tell me when he was ready or what he wanted to do. And I'm really happy. We're really, really happy and really thrilled. So we're finally going back to California. But also, if I have to be honest, it's bittersweet. I'm a little sad. Just today, and all week, I've been kind of making my rounds to some of the people that I've met. Pavel from Sweet Passion Desserts, who gives those luscious cakes that you saw. Gosh, I talked to him for over an hour, and poor guy, he's so busy. But the fact that he always takes, you know, 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes, even an hour to talk to me, like it's the community here in Ireland, I have to say, is second to none. I don't think I've ever been anywhere else where you meet people that really just embody or cultivate a very positive and rooted environment. Everyone cares. Really, everyone cares. Yes, you get a bad apple here and there. Sure. Yes, you might run into someone who is having a bad day, but they will go above and beyond for you, for my friends, for the people at basketball. Can't tell you how many people showed up for my last, run, and it was sad because like I don't know when the next time I'm going to see anyone. And to Paul and Geraldine, and Emma, Dara, and Liam, this family who I met through coffee, who owns Castle Coffee, Carol and Dan, who own their coffee shop. Um, Gosh, I can name Amanda, Derek, Scott, Becky, Jacob, even, these people who I meet at the gym and have been so kind and welcomed me in their community. It's just been so nice. This last 6 months has really changed the way I felt and maybe thought about, yeah, I probably could come back here when it's all said and done for me and retire here because the feeling, this is how I want to live. It's peaceful. Everyone cares. Everyone says hello. Everyone is in your business, but in the best way possible, you know? And everyone takes time for family. Sundays are for Sunday roasts and Sunday dinners. And I just love that. I love that part of the culture of my heritage. It's just so rooted in that people, they care. So it's been bittersweet saying goodbye to everyone, and leaving a part that I've been back and forth for the last 7 years and called home away from home. And I can't believe the end is near, you know? It's not going to be the absolute end. We're definitely going to come back and visit, of course. So don't get all teary eyed. Um, but yeah, I really have to say I enjoyed myself for the last 6 months here and I really needed it. I really needed it. So thank you. Thank you for that. Now, I wanted my dad to come on here and talk about it, but he's not ready. He's just a little nervous. Um, Gosh, you would think he'd be a natural. By the way, he'd be a natural. He'd be even better than I am. He's so animated, so passionate, loves to talk, loves to be social, and the fact that he's afraid. There's no audience here. I'm in my room with two cameras, some lighting. I have a laptop for notes, a microphone, and it's just me talking to me, really, but sharing with you. But he gets so nervous, and I try to show him like there's nothing to be afraid of, but we're getting there. We're getting close. I think once we get settled into California, um, he's definitely going to jump on, and I would love for you to hear his story. He has so many good ones to share, and we're getting really close to that. So stay tuned. What else is going on? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Can I take a sip of my water? Mm. I've also had. I also need to answer some of the questions that I got asked in the last couple months, and I haven't got there. I've been trying to gather a bunch of the questions. Like sometimes I'll get a question here, question here. Sometimes a friend will ask me a question, and I'll add it to the list. I have a bunch of questions um, that I want to be able to share. I'll save it for another episode, of course. But one of the questions was like, what other podcasts do I listen to? And that's funny because this year has pushed me to watch and listen to a lot of podcasts that I would never be interested in. One I want to call out, Call Her Daddy by Alex Cooper. And at first, when I listened to her, I thought about it and I'm like, she is good because she's curious and she asks really good questions. Like she's really serious about interviewing. Like she wants to nail it and her personality shines really well. However, I did say I don't think it's my cup of tea, not for me. But oddly enough, since I've been here in Ireland, I've been listening to a lot more of her podcast. I've been watching it actually. And I think she does a fantastic job. From the aesthetic to the segue, her voice, her tone, her delivery, her cadence. Even more than that, her guests have been fantastic. Like I just watched the new episode of hers with Rosie from Blackpink, and Alex traveled all the way to Korea to do this, and it's in a few different settings. Like they're outside of Korea, then they go to a coffee shop, and then they go to have lunch, and then they go to another place or studio to have another. And I really love that. I love how they took the conversation to these different places. And so the reason I'm telling you that, and I'm surprised about hers, is that I've been researching to see what others do. The Good Hang with Amy Poehler. Obviously, she won a Golden Globe. Can you believe the Golden Globes now has a category for podcasts? Incredible. I love that. Obviously, with the growing rate of all podcasts, everyone and their mother has one. I think that's great, and I have nothing wrong. I think everyone should share their voice. It's just crazy how that's now become a category, and that's going to be integrated now going forward. Everyone's like, how come Joe Rogan, one of the biggest podcasters of all time, didn't even get nominated? But I mean, Joe doesn't care. And he's mentioned this, and other people have mentioned it. Andrew Santino, Bobby Lee from Bad Friends, another one I watched, and they were talking about it like he doesn't want to be on there. It's not for him. Even though he's a pioneer, one of the pioneers with Adam Carolla and a few others. But yeah, so anyways, I've been watching and listening to a bunch, and I really liked Call Her Daddy. Love the Good Hang. the reason why I love the good hang is because Amy will call someone. They'll have a guest, and then they will call someone who knows the guest, and they talk good behind their back, which I really love. Um, and she's just so positive and so fun and so funny. Great guest. So I've been exploring. However, I have been listening to maybe another tier or two tiers down where they're not celebrities and they're more relatable, like myself. And I have to say, like, what I like most about podcasts is when it looks and feel like you're right there. I think that's why it's important for me to not be so fancy and to kind of just be a little janky, if you will, because my setup is not a lot. It's just like I have a ring light, a linen light, two cameras, a stand, But I like that because I feel like I'm talking directly toward you. You're in the room with me, and I think that's how it should be. It should be that I'm right there with you, where you can just say something back or listen. Obviously you have to. And I love that some people do it really well, and then others don't. Another thing that I like is that sometimes, like Call Her Daddy, she did. Alex Cooper did a Sunday series, which is like a solo pod. Same with Theo Vaughn from this past weekend. They do a solo series, solo pod, and I love how they use more of a wide camera. Now, obviously, I have a wallpaper that's actually an actual wallpaper. Looks like a Japanese garden, and I love the wide part of it, just because it feels like it's not so intimate, but it's wide enough, but it's so close. I like that part of it, the aesthetic look of it. Now they have a better studio and setup, and rightfully so, because they probably make good money for it. But I like the fact that it's more rugged and intimate and relatable. And that's how I want it to be for a while, until I get grow and get a better space. But anyways, one of the questions they asked me is like, what kind of podcast you've been listening to? So obviously Joe Rogan, Call Her Daddy. We have Bad Friends and Whiskey Ginger, which I love. Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee, of course. Tiger Belly sometimes, on and off. What's funny? I actually have it. I actually wrote it down right here somewhere. I can't find it, so I'm just gonna have to wing it. This past weekend with Theo Vaughn, um, is it New Heights? The Kelsey brothers. I really do like them, and I like it because sports. I do like All the Smoke with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, Captain Jack. I like comedy. I like sports. I like the in between. I like even like hot ones. Like I love Sean Evans, and I just watched a recent one with Jason Segel. I like I like fun, playful. Yes, it's scripted. Yes, there's a format, but it feels like you're part of it somehow. And if that's the key. And if this doesn't do it for you, you tell me right away and I'll switch it up, because I want to make sure it feels like it's you and I. You and I right here. Um anyways, I'll bounce back to that again. We'll do an episode where I'll take questions and I'll talk about more of the podcast that I'm listening and researching and watching, but I love how the space has grown, and I love how it's now being more integrated and more people are taking notice and actually listening. If this is not the best time, I don't know when, but if you haven't already, there's a couple things I would love you free to do. My manager told me. I see you. I'm going to tell him right now. Uh, Please subscribe to YouTube. That's important. I'm trying to build that up. But also, if you listen to this on Spotify, please like and rate. I think you just rate the show 5. If you can, and it takes like nothing, would love for you just to comment anything, even if it's emoji. Just want to see what the feedback looks like. Even ask a question. Would love that. I read them all. I definitely appreciate listening and the viewership, because that's needed to grow. And just the fact that you're taking time means a lot. You know that. I say that all the time. But please subscribe, like, even share. Tell people about this. That's the only way I can ask. If I don't ask, then I can't grow. But so this is the perfect time to ask. Please subscribe, share, like, comment, share, like, comment, like, share, comment, share, and subscribe. Cool. Glad that we got that out of the way. Okay, the Born Ready podcast. What's next? I've been thinking a lot about this. The whole reason why I started a podcast in the first place is because I just wanted to share my voice. And the reason why I call it Born Ready is because obviously my last name is Reddy, but it kind of has a playful meaning of, yeah, I'm not really ready, right? I'm never ready. And I'm wildly unprepared. And how life has taken, as we navigate life, life throws us curveballs and we are just trying to do our best. We're trying to figure it all out when there's really absolutely no idea what's going on, right? Everything's made up. You find your own purpose, which that's another conversation for another day. I really love that topic about purpose because I've been thinking about it a lot. I'm gonna take a break, take a little pause. But the Born Ready name, I kind of want to expand the brand. And another thing I thought of is that the Born Ready name also means things that I'm afraid to do or I haven't done. I think they're the opportunities. Think of like Fear Factor. Like, yes, there's a challenge and you win a prize, but have you ever thought about doing something with your life, but you're like, I've always wanted to do X, Y, and Z, but I don't have the time. Maybe it's going to the gym. Maybe you've been to the gym. Maybe you want to go to Pilates because, you heard it's really cool and you get a really fit body. And yes, Pilates definitely does that. But maybe there's something in life that you haven't been able to do for whatever reason, but you really want to try it. I think that's where the brand is going to go eventually. And I really want to expand that. One for me, because I think there's a lot of things that like my creative risks that I'm going to take. I'm going to try to broaden, my diversity in these creative aspects where I want to pursue more, and I want to try. I don't know what it's like. I mean, I'm going to learn something. I know I'm definitely going to learn something. I'm probably going to fail a lot, but I still want to learn and try. Like, give it a real shot. And I think that's where I want to take the brand. Is maybe if you are always looking to do something or haven't done something, or maybe there's an idea or a dream, whatever it is, and you haven't been able to do it for X, Y, and Z, I want to make that happen for you. I think that's something that I love to do is be able to share, give, and experience, and um, kind of give back or kind of help in that way or guide. That's been a passion of mine where I want to be able to work with people. I really do love people, especially kids and especially elders and everyone in between, of course. But like, I have a soft spot between them, but I love people in general, and I think that's something I really want to be involved in. But I thought about the brand. I was like, how can I make that happen? So if there's someone out there, maybe it's like, I would love to be in a relationship. That's something I want to give another try to. And maybe you're my age, a little more seasoned, a little more white hairs. I shouldn't say white. I should say Arctic blonde. Arctic blonde. Okay. Whatever it is. If there's a way that I can help or make happen, or you even just need advice, I'm all ears. I would love to help you in that way, whatever that looks like for you. But I think that's where the brand is going to head. It's not only of all these moments and things that I've done in my past where I wasn't ready for it, or I was ready, or this happened. Basically, it's like, how did you navigate life, right? It's not always going to be that way. Or tell me your story. How did you get that to work, or what didn't work? But I think it's about what haven't you done yet that you want to do? What do you want to try? Are you afraid, or you just haven't done it? Was it time? I think about this and I'm really curious. I would love for you to share. One of the things for me is that I'm going to try these creative risks. I'm going to dive a little deeper and try it a little more. Also, what I realized with these things that I really want to try, no one's coming to give it to me. Did you know that? I don't know if you know that, but the Calvary is not coming. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to give it to you. You're going to have to do it yourself. You know, I can't tell you how many stories I've listened to. I'm gonna say his name wrong, but I love him from the league, the show, the league. Mark Duplass. Am I saying that right? He had a great speech at a South by Southwest, early 2010s. I don't know when, but and he talks about the cavalry is not coming, and he talked about his journey, his creative journey, about how he just started writing. And then he's like, no one wants to pick up the script. I don't know why. It's really good. So I'm just going to film it with my friends. He films it with his friends. And then something comes out of it. And guess what? No one came. No one even after that, even through the success of what he did, no one came. No one came for anything. So he's like, all right, I'll double down. I'll keep going. I'll keep going. He said when he finally reached the point where he started to get it noticed and people were like interested, even then he was like, you know what? You know what I realized? I really don't need anyone to help me or come save me or make this happen. The only person that I really need to do do it for is myself. And I've always felt that way, but I didn't know how to put it into like a format or blueprint. And since doing this podcast, it has made it easier for me to be like, oh wow, it really is just taking a step and seeing what happens. It's literally just showing up on the mic, filming it, recording it, and putting it out there and seeing what happens. The funny thing about doing this, and this is episode 15, right? I think so. Gosh, yeah, 15, I think. I don't care so much how well it does. The only thing I really care is how it makes me feel. That's the very honest truth. Every time I edit, I struggle, but I get it done. And then after it's done, and I'm able to like watch it just to make sure it's out. I look at it and like, how does it make me feel? Is there something I could have done better? What would be funner, or all the things that you would think of. But that's what's really important for me. It's my North Star is, how does it make me feel? And do I want to keep doing it? And that's where I'm at. And that kind of gave me the courage to kind of be like, what else can I do? So I'm going to try to make things happen for me in a way where it's actionable practice, which I've talked about. And I'm going to see what happens. And I'm going to see how it makes me feel. So again, if there's something that you want to ask, or you want to do, you want to try, anything, I would love for you to contact me. Instagram, YouTube, my email is bornreadypodcast@gmail.com. Lots of ways to get a hold of me, but I would love to know. And then maybe, if you are confident and you're ready for it, would love for you to be on the show. And maybe we can talk about it, what that thing is and how we can get you there. So expanding the brand is next. Let's see. I think I covered all the things I really wanted to talk about. Mainly that I'm really excited to be back in California. And it's so frustrating to have someone be like, it's done, it's settled, and then just being like waiting and waiting and then giving. And I hate to keep sounding like a broken record, but I'm itching to get back home. I miss home. What's home like? Anyone in California want to let me know? I heard it's I did look at the weather. You know what's funny? Like the weather here is not so much different in certain areas, especially the Bay Area. But I'll take the sun. I haven't seen the sun in weeks. So if you see it, send it my way. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. It literally means the world. You know that. Thanks for sticking with me, episode 15. I have some fantastic interviews that I'm going to be setting up real soon that I want you to be stay tuned for. And I definitely want to keep this one-on-one thing going because it's been a lot of fun for me, and I think it's fun for you too, from what I'm seeing. So, everyone, Happy New Year! I hope you're doing well. Please keep safe. Don't get sick. Avoid it at all costs. Just say it's not for me. Just say I'm not going to get sick. It's not for me, and then it'll work. There's some people I know that have been doing that, like my dad, who is built different. And I want to wish you all a Happy New Year. I said that already, but again, Happy New Year. I'm Anthony Reddy. This is the Born Ready Podcast, and I'll see you soon. Ready or not, I'll see you soon. Thanks, everyone.